Sup guys, I just got here. So today we're going to be doing another cell phone collection update. I know it hasn't been that long, but it's been since September, which is long enough for me at least. So yeah, there's not too much to update you on, but there's a few. So let's just go and get into it. So I know time and time again this video gets longer and longer because I get more phones, but that's just how it is. You can actually see some of the phones behind me there. Anyways, we'll turn this way. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I'm going to go completely randomly with the groups, but we're going to start with the broken phones, and then we're going to go on to the smartphones, then the slightly lesser smartphones, as I like to call it, and then on to the dumb phones. So yeah. Let's just go in and get into it. And I have to do this on my floor now, like I did last time. But yeah, let's just do it. This will also be, probably the first time you're ever seeing this if you're new to my channel. So I like to make these videos every once in a while for the new people. But let's go ahead and get into it. And my hair looks terrible. All right, kicking things off with the broken phones. We'll start with the one that's bagged up. This is the LG AX155. I drop tested it. It broke into a million pieces. It was already busted before this. The screen was already completely dead. So it was kind of worthwhile me doing it. So yeah, it's honestly a cheap piece of shit. So really not a big deal. This is the LG Venus. Now you may be like, seems a little thin for a Venus. Yeah, that's because it's in half. It was actually not even this bad last time I updated you guys, but yeah, there's a screen and there's the keypad, not even connected anymore. So I was trying to repair this because the hinge felt loose and it just ended up snapping in half, which really sucks because I wanted to actually have this phone to check out, but unfortunately this is how it is. Next up, this is the Kyocera Marble, or the K127. Technically this phone does work. It's just the battery is so swollen to the point where it doesn't hold a charge whatsoever. So it really just needs a new battery, and then this thing is probably in good enough technical shape, technical state, whatever. Anyways, moving on. This is the Curio Touch 4S. You can see the screen is actually internally shattered. I can't feel that on the surface. This phone is literally the biggest piece of crap ever. It's like a kid's smartphone. I drop tested it. Nothing more really happened to it, surprisingly. Well, maybe. Actually, I don't even know. Whatever. Not like it matters to me. This is the LG VX6100. You can see it's in two pieces. It's been about 1.5 years since that happened, when I was filming my room tour 2019 video. So yeah. This is the NewMind F15. This one just stopped working out of nowhere. I really don't know what happened, but yeah. I mean, there's a giant gaping crack in the hinge right there, so that might have something to do with it. But yeah, the screen's not cracked, it's just scratched because I was bored. But anyways, it is kind of a cool looking phone. It actually lit up when it worked. The sides in it lit up, and these headlights actually were functional, so that was pretty cool. This is the Blackberry Z10. This phone is bricked. Every time you put the battery in, it just flashes the red light up there. It literally can't boot into the OS, which really, really sucks. Maybe I can get another one of these. They usually have pretty good deals for these on eBay, but I'm not going to buy anything right now. I literally just bought another phone that just got delivered today. So, yeah. And today, I mean the date I'm filming this, which is January 6th. This is the Samsung Gusto 2. This phone is just stuck in a boot loop. The battery's probably dead, but yeah, it's just completely stuck in a boot loop. It already had a lock code on it when I got it almost 1 year ago. But yeah, now it's just completely stuck. Yeah, you can see the battery's dead. But last for the broken phones, this is the UT Starcom CDM 7076. I honestly can't really diagnose what the hell is wrong with this thing. I can't tell if it's a bad battery or if it just doesn't like the charger that I use with it, which is a... actually, no, it's not the Blackberry mini USB anymore. I think it's the mini USB that came with my Texas Instruments graphing calculator, and that doesn't work either. So, yeah. That's it for the broken phones. So now, let's move on to... Whoop, where am I going? The smartphones. Not those three over there. Those are slightly lesser smartphones. And my iPad. Alright, so I'm going 100% randomly here, so you may see completely opposite sides of smartphones from back to back. But anyways, starting with this, this is the Huawei Ascend Plus. I think the battery's starting to kind of go on this. It's not great, but it's fine. The phone's in pretty nice shape overall. Unfortunately, it's on that, so that's the biggest thing that sucks about this. That and Android 4.0, because there's just no app support anymore. But yeah. This is the Samsung Moment. This phone is running Android 2.1 for those of you that don't know, for those of you that are new here. But honestly, this phone's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool throwback, but yeah, it's really slow. The battery's really bad. And yeah, there's not much that's good to say about this besides the kind of cool old school design with the sliding keyboard. So I think that's kind of cool, but not much nice to say about that otherwise. This is the iPhone 3G. This is a 8 gig, black, obviously, on AT&T. It has bad Wi-Fi, like I'll show you once we get in here, but yeah, it has bad Wi-Fi. Like it doesn't even let me connect at all. It says that Wi-Fi unavailable, but we'll let it do its thing here. There we go. So if we go into settings here, you can see no Wi-Fi. Like it doesn't even detect a Wi-Fi chip in this thing at all. And that probably also means that Bluetooth doesn't work either. I haven't really tested that, but yeah, I think those are usually a connected piece. Next, this is the HTC Trophy. So kind of a whole shitstorm of problems have happened with this one lately. So the power button is completely stuck in. Can't even press it. So to turn it off, I have to remove the battery. So we'll go and put that in here. Luckily, it does actually start up on its own. You can hear it vibrate there. There we go. It does start up on its own when you put the battery in, but it only started doing that when the power button got stuck. So it might be pushing down on the actuator. I really don't know. But not only did that happen, but having the power button now stuck in absolutely kills the battery on this phone. Like, it is just terrible. Like, I went from having to charge this every other week to having to charge it every other day. It's that bad. And last for these not so amazing smartphones, this is the ZTE Sonata 2. This phone, honestly, it's not that bad, but I mean, it's not really a great usable daily driver in 2021. That's kind of cool. And yes, the cricket startup sound is absolutely addicting. Alright, now moving on to the half-decent smartphones. Starting with this, this is the ZTE Maven 3. It has 8 gigs of storage, which is absolutely unusable. It has a pretty awful screen. Viewing angles are pretty bad. I mean, it does get pretty bright, but yeah, it's not great. Luckily, it's not on like track phone or anything. So, yeah. And it actually does have a pretty decent speaker, I will say. But those are the only really good things I could say about it. And the sound's off. Oops. Next, this is the ATT Radiant Core. This thing, I swear to God, has a mind of its own. Every time I go to turn it off, like actually go through the Android menu and hit power off, it shuts down. 5 minutes later, I see the startup screen again. It literally doesn't know how to turn off, so I have to take the battery out just to get it to actually stay off, which is incredibly annoying. And also, this is a 2,500 milliamp hour battery. Why is it this big? Why? Like, this phone, I will say, is a nice size, but it has a awful screen and awful camera, and it is really slow. It doesn't even feel like it runs at 60 hertz. It honestly feels like it runs at 30 hertz, which is ridiculous for a smartphone that came out in 2019. So, yeah. It doesn't even matter if it's $30. 2019, and it feels like it runs at 30 hertz. Like, what? There we go. It is not 7 p.m. on December 31st. It is 5:34 p.m. on January 6th. There you go. Next up, this is the LG Rebel 4. This phone is the best out of the half-decent smartphones because it actually has a feature set. And yes, this case is, I think it was just on Amazon. I don't even remember what brand it is, but it's actually a pretty nice case. It's got this sort of fake carbon fiber. It is fake carbon fiber, but it is pretty nice, and it's like this brushed wood type feel. Sounds off, but yeah. Fortunately, it's on track phone, but unfortunately. I said unfortunately. It actually has a pretty decent screen. I mean, it's 720p, it's an LCD, but colors are pretty good. I mean, you can see the wallpaper here. I think it looks pretty decent. Yeah, like. Also, you can get this wallpaper on the Backdrops app. They're not sponsoring this video, but you can check it out. I'll leave a Play Store link down below. All right, last for the half-decent smartphones, this is the LG Phoenix 3, which you can see is cracked. I dropped it on my porch almost 2 years ago. What's actually kind of hilarious is that when I bought this phone almost 2 years ago, it actually came with a free 2-year Google Drive storage promotion, like for 100 free gigabytes, which literally just expired, but thank you. Now shut it. It came with that free drive promotion, but I literally just switched over to a Google One plan. So, thank you for inspiring me to always have usable Google Drive storage. It also has a decent screen. I mean, it is a standard def screen. It's not even an HD screen, but it looks okay. It's definitely the best out of the 3 standard def screens right here, because LG knows how to make screens. Ugh. All right, now moving on to the top 6 smartphones. We'll go in order with this one. Starting with this guy. This is the Samsung Galaxy J3 2016, which, as you can see, has an enormous case on it. So this isn't actually even an OtterBox Defender. This is a commuter, but it's huge. Absolutely gigantic. Way more protection than I ever possibly need for this thing, but honestly, whatever. Like, I really don't care. Now I have the assurance of knowing that it won't break. And what actually surprised me about this phone is that it actually has a really good screen. I mean, it's 720p, but it actually is an OLED. It's not an LCD, despite what I think that I think the 2018 J3, the latest J3, is. So that's kind of interesting that they went backwards. So I don't know, but pretty cool. Next, this is the iPhone SE1. This is the phone I use second most next to my daily driver because, honestly, I just like having an iPhone no matter what iPhone it is. I mean, I do want the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but this is fine. It actually runs surprisingly smooth on iOS 14, especially considering that this came out with iOS 9 back, 5 years ago now? Almost 5 years ago. 5 years ago in March. Give it a second. Oh yeah. No service. What? This isn't my daily driver. Oh, there we go. No, that's not an activated SIM card. There we go. Next, this is the Samsung Galaxy S6. This phone has a ton of issues. Like, it's got a bad micro USB port. It's got dirt in the camera. Like, you can see it when you actually take photos with it. I'll put in like a photo sample here. But it's so bad, honestly. Although it does have an amazing screen, I will say. Yes, I hear you now. Shut it! 1440p AMOLED. But the phone that I'm about to show you next, people don't consider to be just as good, but it is just as good. And that is this. This is the Motorola Droid Turbo 2. I literally just got this today, at the day I'm filming this, which is January 6th. But this phone has definitely exceeded my expectations. First off, debut animation. I mean, that is just so sick. And this phone has just as good of a screen as the S6. It's a 1440p OLED display. What did the carrier name say? I could have sworn the carrier name just said 000000 up there. I could have sworn I just saw that. But anyways, yeah, it has a 1440p OLED display. And this is actually a qualifier for my daily driver since it's on Verizon. So, yeah. I don't have my SIM card in it right now. This is my old deactivated SIM card, but yeah. Honestly, this phone is way faster than I was expecting. And, of course, Motorola has some pretty cool gestures. You can chop for the flashlight, which I love that. You can double twist. Sometimes it doesn't work. Double twist to open the camera, which I think is super cool. This camera app isn't that great because you literally tap anywhere and it takes a photo, so that's kind of annoying. But honestly, yeah, I love this phone. It's fantastic. I paid $70 for it, which is a lot, but honestly, I think it was totally worth it. And last, these are my two Samsung Galaxy S9s. This one right here is my daily driver, and this one used to be my daily driver. That's a whole other story. This one you can see is on Verizon. This one's fully unlocked, but I still use it on Verizon. Okay, I hear you. Now shut up. Both these wallpapers you can get from Backdrops. Like I said, I will leave the link in the description below. So, yee. Alright, I'm going to do the 3 slightly lesser smartphones that are up here before I get into the majority of the slightly lesser smartphones. So we'll start with this. This is the LG 306G. This phone, I call it a slightly lesser smartphone because it doesn't actually run Android. It runs Java, but it's got Wi-Fi, surprisingly. And I don't know, it's actually not that bad. This thing is definitely my current battery champion. It lasts freaking forever. Like, we're talking like a month between charges, which is insane. Like, I'll give you exact dates here. December 7th was the second to last time I charged it. The last time I charged it after that was New Year's Day. I'm serious. Like, it lasts forever. Next up, this is the Samsung Blackjack 2. This phone is really, really slow, but the master reset code does work for this phone, in case you were wondering. It doesn't work on Verizon Samsung phones for whatever reason, but it does work on this one. I still don't know to this day what that blue light means up there. Like, I do not understand that at all. Anyways. Last, for these slightly lesser smartphones before we get into the majority of them, which are in there, this is the Samsung SCH R375C, or as somebody in the comments told me, the Samsung Freeform 2. I'm not necessarily sure if I believe the Freeform 2, because I think the Freeform 2 was the Metro PCS version, and this is the TrackPhone version. So I don't know if they were under the same name. They could be, but I don't know. But this thing's kind of messed up. It has a shaved battery contact. The water damage indicator on the battery is completely red. So yeah, that's not so hot. All right, time for the majority. Starting with the one I don't have 15 of, this is the Blackberry Curve 9370. Whoop. Yeah. This phone's pretty decent. The battery is honestly better than any of the other Blackberries in there. But yeah. And we have 15 Blackberry Bold 9930s. These are the Bolds with the touchscreens, which is honestly pretty cool. They work really well, surprisingly. I'd say some of the touchscreens even work better than the trackpads, which is kind of sad to say, but it is true. We got this one. Some of them do have cameras and some of them don't. Like this one does. And this one does. This one's got a really goofy theme on it. Like almost like an iOS theme, but it's really, really far off. This one seems to be dead. Has a camera. And no, this isn't the cracked one. Yeah, I think that one's dead. This one, you can see, does have a camera. Do all the ones in the top drawer have the cameras? I don't know. You can see this one works. All of them do work. I would have put any of them in the broken phone drawer if they didn't work. This one, you can see, does have a broken line of pixels down at the bottom. That it used to kind of glitch out and start to work after a while, but it hasn't worked in months. I've had these for almost a year, and this has been there for quite a bit of that time. Ugh. There's this one. This one, it's kind of hard to tell, but it is cracked a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see in this light, but it is cracked. And this last one in the top drawer, but I do have a whole nother drawer of them. This one doesn't have a back cover, but it works. And in the bottom drawer, this one, we've got this one. Whoop. We've got this one. See, all the ones in the top drawer have no camera, or have a camera. Yeah, that one had it. That one had it. Yep. 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 Nope. They didn't. Nope. Okay. There's this one, which also has a really stupid theme on it. Blackberry App World does still work, but it's not very functional. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets shut down anytime soon. Shut it. Oh. Yep. And the last one. Wow, that's a lot of smartphones. Yeah, that's a lot of smartphones. But we're still not done, because we got to do the dumb phones last. All right, starting out with the dumb phones, we start with this. This is the Samsung Intensity 2. One of my favorite slider phones, actually. Oh, all right, need to charge that battery. This is the LG Octane. Speakers sound better in here. This is one of my two Sanyo SCP5300s. Yep, this is the one. In the past couple months, these have somehow... The Sanyos under this number have been getting voicemails. I don't know how the hell these things get voicemails. This one has probably been deactivated since, like, what, 2004 or 2005? And the other one I have probably has been deactivated since 2007. So it's super weird. I don't know what the hell's going on. Here's the other SCP-5300. Was I not recording for that bit? I swear to God. I gotta check that footage. This is the LG CE110, which is also known as my first phone ever. This is the exact unit, but yeah, pretty cool. And this thing doesn't want to brightness focus. Guess this camera hates AT&T startup screens, I don't know. This is the LG Cosmos 3 in absolutely terrible condition, as you can clearly tell. Yeah, it's messed up bad. I mean, it honestly is just paint wear, but it's bad. The battery, this is supposed to have a removable battery, but it is completely stuck. Like, it's actually stuck. So, I don't know. Next, this is the Samsung Gusto, the OG. This one actually is kind of cool, not gonna lie. Although one thing I will say about this phone, it has a awful screen. Absolutely horrendous, terrible resolution. It feels like it's like 1p. Like, it's that bad. This is the LG Cosmos 2. This phone is in much better shape than this guy over here. But, yeah. I mean, it's still not great. I mean, it actually is in pretty good cosmetic condition, but the keyboard, you constantly get repeated characters out of this thing, and it makes things super annoying. Not that I type that much on here, though. Next, this is the Motorola Barrage, which is an absolute brick, but honestly, I really like this phone. I've had it for almost a year now, and it hasn't been problematic at all, honestly. It's been a really good phone. The screen for a flip phone is what the hell? I don't know why it does that, but the screen for a flip phone is decidedly meh. It's fine, but it's not great. It's still better than the Gusto, but yeah. This is the LG Rumor Reflex. It has a pretty awful power button. Sometimes it works okay, but most of the time it really doesn't, so that kind of sucks, but it's whatever. Also seems like it has a little bit of side drift, like it's almost like it's showing too much of the back trim piece, which is kind of weird. Maybe that's just my eye, I don't know. Next, this is the Motorola W385. Battery in this phone is not very good, to be honest. And it hates any charger I give it that isn't its own, which I still need to get, so I need to put the battery in another phone to actually charge it, which is incredibly annoying. But yeah. Next up, this is the Samsung Trance. I've had this officially for a year, and I still have not unlocked it. So, that really sucks. I don't even know if I'm going to try anymore. I'm so sick of trying at this point. Do still love that startup sound, though. And this battery is so small. It's so small and puny and pathetic that I have to charge every other day, which is ridiculous. This is the Sanyo PM8200. This is the other Sanyo that's under that voicemail number. Just constantly gets voicemails. I don't know why. It's absolutely alarming when this thing gets voicemails. It makes this just horrifying noise. I have Snapchat footage from me actually getting one of the voicemails on this thing. So I'll insert that here if I can find it. Trust me, we're almost done here. This is one of my two LG VX5500s. Always been impressed with the boot up times on this one. Surprisingly quick. Here is the other one. Here is the successor to the VX5500, the LG Accolade, or the 5600, but you should call it the Accolade. This is the LG VX8300. This phone doesn't have a back cover. It is in not so good condition. It's locked. And, yeah. Does have that really cool VCast startup screen, though. I do love that. And it also has an awful battery. Like, pathetic. This is the Motorola W418G. This is the saddest excuse for a Motorola phone I have ever seen. It's just so bad. Oop, okay. And lastly, this is the Samsung SGH T105G. There you go, now you can see it. Alright. Can barely feel my legs now that I'm standing up like this, but there you go. Those are all my phones. So that is going to wrap it up for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button down below, follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I will go and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.